All right, day 76 is winding down. It was an all right day. Went to the chiropractor first thing this morning. Check out what she did to my back. You can see all this redness and the bruising that's from doing Graston. If you have had major surgery or have tightness or something, I can't recommend Graston enough to go to a practitioner and get it done. Or, I mean, I am thinking about just buying one of the kits and doing doing it on myself. I feel like you can't, I don't know, who knows? I don't think you can go too wrong with just a little intuition and attacking some of that gristly area. But my whole back just feels relieved afterwards. I feel like this static anxiety that I have, like underlying all the time, just kind of goes away as that, tightness lets go and the blood flow loosens up. Other than that, sold a little bit of insurance, which was relieving. Weed-eated a bit of the backyard. Got pretty frustrated with that, I'm not gonna lie. It is super hard doing a job, that would have taken doing a job that I could have done 10 times faster and 10 times better, 100 times faster and 10 times better prior to injury. I just have to constantly remind myself, like, not to compare it to what it would be like before, but it's just impossible. And it's so inefficient that it begs the question. It doesn't beg the question. It's pretty easy to add up that it's not economically worth it. I just wanted to be out there and, do some yard work and be out in the sun and sweat a little bit. But realistically, the time it takes me to weed eat and, take care of certain types of yard work, it's really not economically efficient. It makes more sense just to hire someone or to do some other chore in the house in lieu of that and have someone who can, move more efficiently with a weed eater. That is one just grossly inefficient job with a wheelchair. You need to be able to hold it with your hands and move at the same time. That's just the design. Maybe you could rig something up, but again, is it worth it? I don't know. But yeah, I did get pretty angry and frustrated with that today. So fell out of grace there for a bit, but that happens. One thing that I did do that was fantastic that I'm going to try to do as much as possible. I'm not sure what time it is now, probably about 9 o'clock, but I'm going to try to fall asleep as soon as possible so that I can wake up really early and go and do that breathwork session that I've been talking about, the one by Breathless Expeditions in the sauna. First thing in the morning. It's the single answer to all of your problems. I know that sounds insane, but breath work and learning to breathe properly and doing these intense breathwork sessions, it really is the baseline. It's the foundation. Everything else is built on top of that. Diet, exercise, everything else comes after breathwork. I am convinced of that now, and more so than anything, doing this, I've been doing some research, relearning some research from, that didn't make any sense. Anyways, I've been reading and watching videos by Dr. Eric Goodman, and he has this thing called foundation training, and I did it before I was ever injured, but my chiropractor urged me to look back into it. And I kind of wrote it off because a lot of the exercises and stuff are standing, and I just didn't think it would translate well into the wheelchair. But it turns out it definitely does. And the bad news is, or the good news is it is the answer for fixing scoliosis and back pain and structural problems with the spine. The bad news is it's like a 24/7 practice. It's basically retraining yourself how to breathe all the time. And that's kind of, I guess that's why it fell out of favor in the things that I was really interested in and looking into. It's just because it's not fun, it's not sexy. I hate breath work. I love lifting weights. I love doing, a bunch of pull-ups. I love doing hard things where I get sweaty and it's, go out surfing for a couple hours, all those things that are really good for you and awesome. But I hate sitting down and just focusing on my breathing for 10 or 20 minutes. But it's it is the answer. I highly encourage you to start your own breathwork journey as soon as possible. I started mine years ago, stopped, and just keep letting it fall by the wayside, but that is not going to happen anymore. It's going to be the thing that just is unwavering in my life. A solid 10 or 15 minute, mindful or really intentional breathwork practice every day. But more than that, I just mean I'm going to make paying attention to my breathing a 24-hour activity and really use my breath as the actual brace for my spine. If there's just research foundation training, Dr. Eric Goodman, there's no possible way that I can do it justice yet. I will be able to, in 4 to 6 months from now, after I really go deep into this and perfect the practice myself. But for the time being, I will send you his direction if that's something you're interested in learning about. But once you understand what he's talking about, how your breath and I loosely understand it, but how your breath is literally basically shaping and bracing your whole body. And once I just made a practice out of doing kind of the breathing all the way down just filling my whole body with breath and holding it in the posture they said, and my back pain just instantly disappears completely while I'm holding it. And then if I exhale properly and hold all my muscles in the right position and hold that bracing, then the structural back pain just isn't there. It's completely supported. It's like the where those nerves are getting pinched between the discs, my body's pulling them apart. And it's extremely difficult to hold that position for extended periods of time, but it gets easier and easier as I've practiced a few times over the last couple days. And eventually I just want to train my body to, constantly be completely filled with breath, have 100% lung capacity, and have everything braced and full and nice. And I really do think that it is the unfortunate key. Because like I said, it's, I wish I could just go get stem cells, save money or raise money and, go get this big, awesome, fun, intense, new age treatment and it just fix everything. But there's not one of those out there. Just stop looking now. It doesn't exist yet. Even something as miracle working as it sounds like certain stem cell treatments can be, they're just, icing on top of the cake. It's all the foundational stuff first. That's the sad reality. I think the very bottom layer of that pyramid hopefully is more, square than this arm is, but the bottom layer of that pyramid is breath work. So I'll try to wake up early, hit that. I'm not going to try to wake up early. I am going to wake up early. I just don't know whether or not I'm going to set my alarm for 5 or 6. It just depends. I'm going to read for a bit now. And if I read, for an hour and a half, then it will be 6. If I read for 30 minutes, then it will be 5. But lots of love. Good night. And I will see you tomorrow for day number 77. Ooh, that feels good. That feels like a lucky day. Like something good's going to happen. We'll see. 76 was, it was not worth complaining about. A little bit of little bit of dramaticness on my part, just being a bit of a drama queen a few times today, but other than falling from grace in that way, it's pretty good. Good night.